Xbox is making huge moves for playing games on Windows, and I think we have Valve to really thank for that. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. Like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. Let's get into it. In their words, this is a breakthrough moment for Xbox, putting gaming front and center, built for players. And they are doing this in partnership with ASUS and their ROG Ally line of PC handheld gaming devices. It's all coming together through the ROG XBOX ALLY. What a naming convention. Which comes in two flavors. Similar to the Series S and X tiers of Xbox consoles, there is a standard Xbox Ally and an Xbox Ally X. I'll show the hardware specs here on screen here if you want to pause and review it. To keep it simple, both offer a 1080p 7-inch screen with a 120Hz refresh rate and are capable of variable refresh rate and FreeSync to reduce tearing. The base ROG XBOX Ally is described to be the budget option with lower processing power and RAM. That said, its performance may still be a bit faster than Valve's steamdeck, having a stronger, more modern processing unit. From my research though, nobody was able to try out the base ROG XBOX Ally. But what was available to test for reviewers and journalists is the Xbox Ally X, with premium internals that'll help bring your gaming dreams to a reality on a handheld device. From IGN, they were only able to demo Gears of War Reloaded for roughly 15 minutes. The game ran at 1080p 60 frames per second. They had it on high settings with the FSR setting set to quality, and the handheld itself was set to turbo mode, which provides full power to the device. Just to clarify, if you're using a handheld device on turbo mode, you're gonna have it plugged into the wall. It will just suck up all the juice from your battery. You know what, that said, not to diminish its capabilities, it's also worth mentioning that Gears of War Reloaded is a remastered version of an Xbox 360 era game. Granted, it has some modernized graphics added to it, but it does bring the question of how well the ROG XBOX Ally X can run games like Doom the Dark Ages at maximum settings. No prices were mentioned during the presentation, so we'll have to see where they land on that. But I do have something to say in regards to the pricing, which I'll save for later in the video. What really stood out to me though in this behind the scenes feature that Xbox put out is that they have been listening to the community, listening to all the feedback, and it seems that the design of this ASUS ROG XBOX Ally, that is a mouthful. But anyhow, what stood out in the behind the scenes feature put out by Xbox is that they have been listening to the community, and it seems that this is in direct response to all of the feedback that they have received. Probably also just general feedback that they've seen within the handheld gaming community. First thing you'll notice is that the ergonomics are much improved from prior Ally units, and it's all about making it feel like an Xbox, so the grips feel like you're holding an Xbox controller. If you look at all prior PC handheld devices, you will probably notice that most of the Windows-based handhelds are kind of shaped more like a tablet, like a thin rectangle tablet. And the only one that really broke that convention was Valve's Steam Deck. They had some really thick grips on the ends of the device, which arguably has the best ergonomics. Up until now, though, it looks like this new device, the ASUS ROG XBOX Ally, is going to have some really nice grips as well. We obviously see it in the hardware and the shape of the handhelds, but most important are the upgrades that have been made to the software side of things, especially with the reveal of the Xbox UI. The moment you turn it on, you are booted into the Xbox experience. No Windows, the desktop is turned off, and all processes not needed to run your games are also disabled. Optimized for gaming, you don't have to think or worry about random Windows services or prompts interrupting your gaming. This has always been the biggest point of contention when it comes to Windows-based gaming handheld devices. Windows-based handhelds have generally had much better hardware internals. On paper, are more performant than Valve's Steam Deck. But a small chunk of it was always sort of required to deal with the bloat that comes with running a Windows operating system on a handheld device. And you also had Windows presenting pop-ups at random times, which makes the controller setup of a handheld gaming device weird and awkward when you have to interface with a prompt that came up from Windows. And these prompts are designed to be interacted with the mouse and keyboard. Some people might say, sure, yeah, you can use the touch screen and tap on the OK buttons or, navigate Windows with the touch screen. But have you ever tried doing that on a small 7-inch display? It's not great. In contrast to that, SteamOS by Valve essentially eliminated that with their Steam Deck. And it truly feels like a console experience, but on a PC platform. It's lean, it's optimized, and presents everything in a console-like experience, which also offers some tweakable settings. And, for those who really want to customize their hardware, sliders that adjust clock speeds, things like that. But out of the box, it is a turn on and play sort of device. I could talk all sorts of positive things, but we can't forget one of the major crutches that SteamOS has with the Steam Deck. And that major weakness is that it is a Linux-based handheld device. Most Steam games can run on the Steam Deck thanks to a translation layer called Proton. And it's technical, but it essentially emulates a Windows operating system. If a game can't run on the Steam Deck, well, if you wait, it's usually patched with a Proton update. Unfortunately, though, that's not the case for many games out there. In particular, there are games that have certain forms of DRM or anti-cheat measures that just won't run at all on a Linux-based operating system. So if you're a gamer who enjoys playing games with those kinds of protections, Destiny is one of those games. Apex Legends comes to mind. You're out of luck. The Steam Deck is not for you. So this leads me to my next point, because even with this crutch on the SteamOS side of things, many users of Windows-based handhelds have recently had the chance to install the SteamOS on their Windows-based handhelds. Valve put out a downloadable version of SteamOS, which allowed users to install the operating system on any handheld device, so long as it is an AMD-based system. Many users on the ASUS ROG Allys, Lenovo Legion Gos, and other Windows-based devices made the switch and discovered how much more performance they were gaining back, let alone improving battery life and even the user experience. And look, I don't like being a part of the discourse when it comes to picking sides and claiming your loyalty to that platform and bashing on the opposing side, but the discourse around this went hard. And many thought that Microsoft, Xbox were essentially cooked. You can find plenty of Reddit threads discussing it. Shortly after, Xbox even released a statement that they were putting the development of their exclusive handheld gaming device, not to be confused with this current partnership with the ASUS XBOX Allies, their own in-house handheld was put on the back burner for now. But there was something promising with that statement. They were going to focus on the user experience of Windows for gaming on handhelds. And you know what? Xbox showed up. At Summer Games Fest, they put out this feature, and they are putting in the work to make Windows on handheld devices a much better experience. They're doing this in partnership with ASUS. The ROG XBOX Ally seems to be their testing ground for making all of these software changes to the operating system experience. What's also great news is that all prior Windows-based handhelds will be able to experience this new Xbox UI with an update at a future date. That date was not announced, so stay tuned for that. In true Windows fashion, the platform is going to allow you to play all of your games regardless of which store or platform you purchase that game. It's an open platform like Windows. The feature even had a developer state that they loaded up and played Quake on it. What a true legend. The Xbox Ally will have native app access to Steam, Epic, GOG, Ubisoft, EA. Now, they didn't mention them specifically, but the featurette did say all of your games from multiple platforms, all in one library menu screen. All of your games in one place. You don't need to go launching multiple storefronts. It's all just there. Insert tagline, the freedom of Windows, the power of Xbox. This really got me thinking though, like this is all going to be great for the handheld gaming front, but how much of this could potentially transfer over to the desktop side of things? Windows OS on desktop has always been a multitasking production system that can also do gaming. For years, us PC gamers have enjoyed our platform due to how much more powerful and versatile our machines are compared to a gaming console. Even recently, PC gaming has experienced a resurgence in popularity, I want to say like in the last 10 years. And while some of us have become power users, learning how to customize our desktops and tweak settings to tune it and make it the ultimate gaming platform, not everyone enjoys that process. How many times have you heard someone say that they just want to be able to turn on their system, launch a game, not worry about system updates, drivers, compatibility issues, disabling system pop-ups? It would be great if I could just put my PC into a true gaming mode. Launch Windows with just the essential processes to play video games. Free up those additional resources to create the best gaming experience. That's where my head's at. And I really do hope we get to see some of these improvements with Windows OS on PC. Because honestly, I think this makes sense for Xbox and their initiative. Make everything an Xbox for gamers. And this all seems like the first big steps towards that vision. Okay, this video is already getting a bit longer than I wanted to make, but I really wanted to discuss the potential pricing for the ASUS ROG XBOX Ally handhelds. As of the recording of this video, no prices were announced by Xbox. The only thing we know is that they plan on releasing these handheld devices during the holiday season of 2025. But I think we can do some speculation, and this is where it might kind of hurt our wallets when we take certain things into consideration. So we're going to discuss everything in USD. The current ASUS ROG Ally X, which is not to be confused with the upcoming Xbox Allies. The ROG Ally X is arguably the top of the line Windows-based handheld gaming device. And you can currently purchase one at an eye-watering $999.99. Now keep in mind, ASUS doesn't have the luxury of price cutting their systems. They don't have a storefront platform where users will spend additional money. So they really don't have any other way of bringing in more money from users of these devices. Xbox, on the other hand, they have a storefront and the service known as Game Pass. They could potentially afford to price cut the hardware and sell it at a loss, because they could make up those costs by selling more Game Pass subscriptions or digital games from their storefront. Something else to consider too is that Xbox already has consoles on the market. The top tier Xbox Series X could be purchased for $899.99 as of the recording of this video. Granted, this isn't a portable device, but where does the Asus ROG XBOX Ally X sit at in comparison? So yeah, I really do hope that the price point for the ROG Ally X is under the cost of an Xbox Series X. It's not as powerful, but how much of a premium will they charge for a handheld experience? I think we'll just have to wait and see. That's all I've got to say. Are you going to be lining up to purchase an Asus ROG XBOX Ally X on day one? Or are you even interested in gaming on the go with a handheld device? Make sure to leave a comment down below and share your thoughts on what you think with this whole partnership with Asus and Xbox. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. Also, if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.